Hi everyone, my name is Desiree. I'm with Find You in the Valley and Surrey604.com. Coming to you today to bring a video in regards to the pandemic. An interview that I had approximately 3 to 4 weeks ago with a professor named Summer Pervez. She's a professor out of Canada West University in Vancouver, and she was diagnosed with presumptive COVID-19. She was very sick at the time, and she, took her time. She was very worried at the time to how things would turn out, and understandably so. And she took the time that she had to speak with me, and at the time also asked that we waited on broadcasting. Situations changed, and so therefore I'm bringing it to you today. I hope that you get a chance to enjoy it. I guarantee you're going to have questions. There's a perspective that she had that I think is important for us to hear about, especially as it looks and appears that eventually restrictions are going to be eased, and there's all kinds of worries out there. As they get eased, are we going to see a second wave? And when's that second wave going to happen? And how do we deal with it? And how is the medical system going to deal with it? And then there's, of course, the economics of all this that have really struck up some serious concerns in regards to a lot of people are really concerned about their civil liberties, and have some serious gripes towards the government. We are going to have a live follow-up in regards to this interview this afternoon. So stay tuned for that. Check with the channels, Find You in the Valley on Instagram and Facebook, and of course Surrey604.com, also on Instagram and Facebook. And anyway, regardless of our opinion or where we stand, myself anyway, and Damon Beatty with Surrey604, we're staying out of the opinions. We just want to gather this information and document it and show you. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. I hope you have a wonderful day. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm in my car. I just picked up some to-go breakfast, I guess, today, and I've got a Starbucks drive-through. Went to the drive-through. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you and your families are well. And my name is Desiree, and my Instagram is ClickCritic. All right, thanks, guys.
I don't know how far back to go, but my first fever was about February 4th, and I didn't make anything of it because it went away the next day. That's just sort of a one-off comment about February 4th. A month after that, a student was identified as having COVID at my university. And I believe that this student was the first community transmission case in BC. And I don't know if I can really, kind of convey more details without respecting confidentiality, but
yeah, that's fine.
March 3rd was when this case was announced, and the university has not told anybody the name of the person, of course, to respect confidentiality. So that happened, and the university decided to shut down for 3 days. Before they shut down for the deep cleaning, they held a press conference in the lobby of the university to address this COVID case that had been found, confirmed, tested. And the whole of the next week, we were told that the university has reopened, but students have the option to either come to class or take the class online. Professors had to do both. So basically, we were required to still come to campus and teach our classes to the students who chose to come. And we were told to stream it live online using softwares for the students that were at home. So 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th of March, the university was closed. From the 9th up until about the 17th, it reopened for a full week. And I went to work as usual on all of those days. My cold symptoms began the evening or the afternoon of the 17th of March. This was the same day that the lockdown began in Canada. This was one day before the state of emergency was declared in BC and in the city of Vancouver. I did not work the next day because I was not well. I did not work the following day or the day after because I was not well. So I fell behind with my work. By Saturday the 21st, things were bad enough that I called 811 due to a fever, due to a cough, due to things just getting really scary and me realizing this is not just a cold. So by that point, I felt like it was a flu, so I called 811 and they called 911. So I ended up declining an ambulance and saying that I'll just go to an urgent care clinic tomorrow and I will make sure that I'm checked out. It took me a couple of days to get there because I couldn't do it. I was just ill. So on Monday the 23rd, Tuesday the 24th, again, I had a lot of work scheduled. I had online classes scheduled. Like nothing has shut down in terms of my work at the university. So after missing like 2.5 more days of work, I was like, all right, things are really bad. I called 811 again, and they said, yeah, we can bring you in an ambulance, but that is up to you again. So the next day I went to the city center urgent care clinic, and by this point, 811 had diagnosed me twice with presumptive COVID-19. And I think it's really important to remember what presumptive means here, because there's a lot of confusion about that in the community, and a lot of people took it to mean possible, but presumptive doesn't mean possible. Presumptive means we know this is what it is. Our diagnosis is this. We just don't have a test available to confirm it, or we are awaiting test results. So by this point, 4 people, 3 doctors and a nurse, believe this is COVID. 4 doctors and a nurse, 5 people. So the doctor at the urgent care clinic said, yeah, it's a viral infection, and I believe it could be COVID, but I can't guarantee that it is without a test, and I can't give you a test because they're for healthcare workers only. So I went back home. The only thing he did for me was listen to my lungs. There was no test of any kind. 2 days later, I started feeling better. Automatically started feeling better. So I started catching up on some of my work, and everything was fine until Sunday night, which was the 29th of March, and then I crashed really hard again on the 29th of March. Again called 811, 911. The ambulance took me to the hospital that night. And again, the doctor at the hospital did not touch me. The only thing he did was listen to my lungs. I was in the presence of the doctor for only about 2 minutes. While waiting to see him, I was non-stop coughing. In the ambulance, they did an EKG because they tried to convince me it might be a heart attack, which was a bit ridiculous. They made me take off the EKG stickers myself because they were afraid to touch me. In the hospital was empty. I saw a total of 1 doctor in the hospital, in the ER at VGH, 1 nurse who was manning the front door, 1 security guy who was manning the front door, and 2 other patients before me. The 2 patients who went before me, 1 was given an inhaler for breathing issues. The second one was told it's probably COVID. neither of them was tested, and they were sent home. And then it was my turn, and I complained about the cough, the breathing, waking up in the night, not being able to breathe, and they did nothing. No inhaler, no nothing, just go home and manage the symptoms. And I'm like thinking, what does that even mean? Then I waited outside for a taxi because the hospital would not arrange one for me, even though I was brought in an ambulance. I was wearing slippers and no coat and wrapped in a white hospital blanket. And that night was pouring rain and very cold. They wouldn't let me back into the hospital to wait for the cab once I had walked out. So I was stuck in the cold. It took me an hour of waiting before I called the cab company back and said, where are you? They said no one's willing to drive to the hospital. It's VGH, so there's no drivers available. In the meantime, I kept calling friends to see who would wake up and help me out, friends who had cars. Knowing full well they might say no because I'm in isolation and they're not allowed to be in a car with me. However, one friend decided to take a risk and picked me up in an Evo and brought me home. And he is still not sick and has had no symptoms. So it was a risk. I now have, I've been told by 811 that in my file it says I have COVID pneumonia. So my COVID has turned into pneumonia, and that is why I can't breathe at night. And while normally getting pneumonia and not being able to breathe would cause you to be admitted in a hospital, put on oxygen, and x-rays and CT scans would be done, none of that happened. I felt like a rat that had a disease that couldn't be touched, you know?
Yeah.
And now I feel like I've been in isolation in my apartment since the 17th. Much longer than the lockdown, even. For most people, it's been about 2 weeks. For me, it's been about 3. And I do feel like I'm in the prison of my own home. I haven't been to the outside world except to go to an urgent care clinic once and VGH once. That's it.
Yeah.
It's very exhausting and it's very scary because I live alone and I could stop breathing in the night. And I recently read a story of a dentist in Vancouver who died in the middle of the night, just like that, because they told him to stay home and manage his symptoms, and he couldn't breathe in the night, and he died. So stories like that are coming out, which are making me afraid, but don't seem to have any effect on paramedics or the nurses or the doctors who are scared for themselves right now. And while it's admirable that, you know, everyone is outside and doing things like cheering the healthcare workers, my personal experience with them does not make me want to cheer them right now. Right. So I can't even blame them for being scared. You know, like, I totally have compassion for their point of view and the situation they're stuck in. But what it's meant for the person who has COVID is you don't get treatment, right? The person who is mild is told to manage it at home and they recover within 2 days. I have a few friends who got COVID and they're fine now. They recovered in 2 weeks. Then there's the critical patients who are needing oxygen or ventilators, and they're getting care.